Hello class! Today we are going to have a lesson on DC Universe Classics Wave 7 figure number 4, Booster Gold. And there he is. Quick look at him in the package there. We can see Skeets up there at the top. I think that's Skeets. Anyways, quick look at him in the packaging before we move on. So again, you can see all the other characters in the wave in the background. It comes with the left leg of Atom Smasher, which is in there. There you go. Which is great. And here on the back, we do this every time, so let's see how quickly I can do this. There's also Ocean Warrior, Aquaman, Kid Flash, the Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Big Barda. Up there is Captain Cold, and in the middle is the Flash. And of course, keep saying Atom Smasher. Okay, Booster Gold. His real name is Michael John Carter. He's from like the 25th century, and basically what he did is he traveled back in time, or he stole technology, traveled back in time to the present era to be a superhero because he's basically nobody where he came from. So essentially he's a thief who now has decided to be a superhero. I don't know. Well, I guess if it works, go for it. He hasn't been around that long, February 1986. Let's see, what has he got? He's got a suit that provides flight, enhanced strength, force field projection, infrared goggles for enhanced vision, athleticism, and he's partnered with the robot Skeets. That gives him information and energy blasts. So there we go. That's about Booster Gold, as we can see right there. Actually, I do like this character. I saw him on Justice League Unlimited. That's about all I really know about him, but I just thought he was excellent. So this is kind of one of those figures that regardless of a Build-A-Figure, I kind of had to have, because I think he's excellent. So, I'll be back in a second. We're going to open this up, and we will have a closer look at Booster Gold. Okay, so we're back looking at Booster Gold. I'll give you a quick look at the figure here. You can see that little bit on his back there that we'll have to take a closer look at in a second. Now his color scheme, it's exactly what we'd expect from Booster Gold. He's got the the blue top with gold highlights and that star, the gold pants with the blue boots, gold gloves, the little blue bits on the top, which I believe are his energy blasters, and even his head. If we get a closer look there, we can see that there's his face. We've got his eyes underneath, and what's kind of neat is that we can see we've got the visor, which is that translucent yellow color, and he's got hero hair, which is awesome, because he's a hero, and thus must have hero hair. Very good. Now in terms of articulation, I'm going to take that thing off. You can see his head is going to rotate all the way around, and it's going to move up and down on a ball joint, which is nice. We can move the arm all the way around, and we can lift it up. There we go. The arm is going to rotate at the bicep here, and then the elbow we're going to bend back and forth, and the hand can rotate here at the wrist. The upper torso, we've got that motion where we can bend forwards and backwards. The waist, we can go all the way around, which is nice. And then the hips, we've got that double joint so his leg can go forward, back a little bit, and then out to the side, where the leg does rotate at the thigh, mid-thigh. The knee bends, and then the ankle bends forwards and backwards as well. So there we have him. Now, in terms of accessories, like actually a number of DCU figures, some of them have accessories, but, not too much with some of them anyway, but I'm starting to digress. At this rate, his main accessory is going to be Skeets. And as you can see this little peg back here, it does fit in the back, right between his shoulder blades. That's got a sting. And we can put Skeets behind him so he's zooming past and saying, or advising Booster Gold on what to do and giving him information, because Booster Gold is kind of an idiot. At least that's the way he appears in Justice League Unlimited, which actually makes it kind of funny. So we've got that translucent plastic. We can just pop that out. And we've got the little robot doodad, but if we look, it's actually maybe more of a ship. So if I can pop this open, lift the top. I don't know how well we can see here on the camera. It might be a little bit tough to get it to focus in. There we go. Well, almost. There's a little green bug slug in there that appears to be piloting this thing. So maybe Skeets is in fact not a robot, but some kind of glowworm alien life form. Does anyone remember what they called glow friends? That's what he is, in my opinion. At any rate, we can stick that on his back so to make it look like he's zooming around. There we go. Which is kind of nice. I think there is an alternate version of Booster Gold. I think it's Skeets that's different. I could be wrong, I'm not sure. I'd have to look. and I'm not going to right now. There we have Booster Gold. I don't know a whole lot about the character. I think I've mentioned before. Just what I've seen on Justice League, he was a real... Well, he was kind of a douchebag, really. But that's okay, because he was very entertaining. Now, the only other thing that this figure does come with, like most of the figures from the wave, we've got a piece of Atom Smasher. We've got a big leg. It's going to be almost as tall as Booster Gold is, which is going to be nice, because, you know, you expect the Build-A-Figures to be larger than the regular ones, so there we go. So Atom Smasher is going to be pretty big when we're done with him. But back to Booster Gold, you know what, it's a decent figure. Now, in terms of the mold, with some exceptions, like maybe the wrists and the tops of his hands, and of course his head with his hero hair, he is very similar to most DC figures, and it's something I've been saying for a little while now. It does seem a lot of the time like they're just kind of reusing the molds and changing certain bits. But thanks to the color scheme, and the way they did a really good job on his head. I have to say that. If I can get my camera to focus there on his head. They did a really good job on his head, which is nice. And we can add skeets here again on the back. The figure does have personality, and I do like that, despite the fact that it's, again, the same kind of mold that seems to be the generic mold for a lot of them. It is pretty cool. I love the metallic blue. It is, you know, a richer, and again, metallic blue compared to a number of the other ones. If we've got Blue Beetle here, we can see they're both blue, but Booster Gold is clearly different looking. If I was going to give this figure a grade, you know what, I love Booster Gold. As I said, I don't know a whole lot about the character, but just from what I saw back in Justice League, I immediately thought he was awesome. And I do like this figure. There's a lot of detail. It looks really good. I give this figure an A-. It's not quite, at the top, but he's definitely display worthy. So I think that is going to be our lesson on Booster Gold. If you see him and you don't have him, I think he's worth getting. He just looks pretty cool. He's got skeets, and he's a decent DCU figure. So, A-. I think we're done with him. Go out and get him. That wraps it up. What else can I say? So, have a good night, and class, if I can stand him up, there we go, class is dismissed.